Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Sydney Wolf. If you're new here, welcome. Today I'm going to be discussing my personal experience with a particular topic. I'm going to just get right into it and not waste any of your time. I will be discussing my experience personally wearing sew-ins for 5 years. I wore sew-ins back to back, I believe starting in 2019. Just recently stopped in September of 2025. So I think at this point I have a decent amount of experience as to whether sew-ins are a good length retention style or not. And I'm going to cover all the nitty-gritty details of my journey wearing sew-ins, what I went through, where I had to start over, my setbacks, etc. I will include some pictures as well. I know everybody loves those. And any other questions you guys have as well, you can feel free to leave them in the comments. But I'm gonna just jump right into it so we can discuss what you came here for. I'm gonna first touch on what brought me into wearing sew-ins in the first place and how I even got started with that. Growing up, I could never see myself wearing extensions. I didn't like the idea of it. I didn't want them. I didn't think I needed them. They just didn't sound comfortable to me. So I didn't know enough about extensions to know what I was getting myself into when it came to sew-ins. I originally met my hairstylist in around late 2019 first when I needed my hair braided for a trip to Hawaii. Amazing hairstylist, love her, she's great. This video, let me put a disclaimer out, is no tea or no shade to my hairstylist. She's awesome. She does amazing installs. She gets good hair. And I wouldn't say she doesn't care about hair at all. Like, she does actually care about hair. I met her first in 2019, needed braids for a trip I was going to in Hawaii. And I was like, oh, I'm going to Hawaii for almost 2 weeks. I don't know what to do with my hair. And my friend at the time was like, I know someone who can maybe give you a style. Like, why don't you try braids? I was like, bet. At the time, I was wearing slick back ponytails for years. So edges were gone, hair was breaking off, and I had not had a trim in probably 5 years, 4 years. It had been a while. So at this point, everything's all new to me. I would say I was being quite negligent, but not realizing I was being negligent because I was styling my hair in a bun thinking I was protecting the hair, and I was really breaking the hair off. Anyways, I meet the stylist, or my stylist, and I get my braids done for Hawaii. Loved them, they were amazing braids. I go to Hawaii for almost 2 weeks, come back, take the braids out, go right back into ponytails. And I wanna say I returned to her to get another set of braids a few months after. This was kind of around COVID-ish time, so it was kind of right before things shut down. And I wanna say, it was either after I had that second round of braids or around that time where she kind of said something to the effect of could you have dye in your hair? And I was like, no. She said, you don't color your hair at all? I'm like, no. And she's like, well, your ends are a different color than your roots and your ends are damaged and tapered and breaking off. And I was like, that's really funny because I don't even use heat on my hair, hardly. She's like, what's your styling look like? And I'm like, oh, I just put my hair in a bun, in a ponytail, and use a clip-on, and I use gel. I don't really use heat. And she's like, well, that explains it. And I'm like, how does that explain it? I'm not using heat. Because at that time, I really thought that the only way you could damage your hair is if you're using color, heat, or relaxer. Boy, was I wrong. Tension damage is a very, very real thing. So she's like, you see where it's tapered off here and damaged here? All this is from the gels, the pulling, the styling, and then now look at your edges. And I'm like, okay, not too much. But she was honest with me, and she's like, I'm gonna be real. We're gonna have to cut this, and you can decide if you wanna cut it super short or you wanna gradually cut it, but it's either I cut it into a pixie and you can just start over and have a full new head of hair, or you cut it gradually to keep coming back. I was not ready to let go of those dang ponytails. So I told her oh, just cut it gradually because I need to be able to still put it in a ponytail. Something just wasn't clocking to me, and that's the problem. So she follows suit, and she's like, yeah, we can trim a bunch now and get most of it gone. She trims it the first time. I wear it out. I don't put no extensions in, no nothing. I just wear it out for 2 weeks. slightly put it back in a ponytail, and then I'm like, nah. It just clicked finally. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is gonna damage my hair again. Like, come on now. I go back to her, I think, for another trim, and I asked her, I'm like, what style can I wear that I can still wear my, you know, look what I thought would be presentable at the time and feel confident and kind of protect my hair and get it to retain more length and grow this out. And she suggested sew-ins. At first, she was like, let's try that. You can try the sew-in. Your hair is sewn up, braided down. You don't have to touch it, play with it, nothing. You have a style on your head for a few weeks and you come back and reset it. We can do frontal sew-ins so that you're not putting, you know, destroying your leave out or whatever a lot of people tend to do. At that point, it wasn't clocking to me like, destroy your leave out. What is a leave out? Like, I didn't know anything about sew-ins. So I was like, fine, let's try that. Very new to me, very painful. Just not, at first I was like, wow, this is a lot. But I got used to it after a while, right? You get used to it. I think I wore frontal sew-ins for around 8 months of that time, maybe a year, but I was not digging the frontal after some time. I did not like having to still use like some kind of product to glue the edges down and lay the baby hairs so it didn't look like a frontal. And I'm a commercial actress and model, so like I was constantly either on TV, on set, doing headshots, whatever, and you could see the lace in these photos and these headshots and stuff. So I was like, nah, this is not gonna work for me. So I go back to her and I'm like, I like this styling, but I'm not really a fan of the frontal situation. Is there something else that we could possibly do? She was like, yeah, we can try out doing a leave out. She's like, as long as you take care of your leave out and you're not over putting heat on it, you'll be fine. She did a great job styling my leave out when she did the extensions, but at that time, I really was not good with my routine, so I was not doing a great job. My hair was mad frizzy all the time. My leave out was getting left out for real, and it was not blending with the hair. And I couldn't understand why she was able to do it and I wasn't. Obviously, my routine was trash back then, so that was the biggest issue. And after it's been all these years and I mastered pressing my hair, I've learned a lot since then. I still, though, after years, I'm like, well, you know what? I don't mind this leave out situation. It looks more natural, even though I wasn't mastering the technique. It looks more natural than the frontals. Left wigs behind, left frontal sew-ins behind, and I'm full into leave out sew-ins. I am digging it. So I'm doing wavy sew-in, curly sew-in, loose waves, body wave, water wave. And then I got to a point after a few years of like, I wonder what a sew-in that matches my hair texture would look like. And I want to say it might have been 3 years into my journey that I tried it for the first time, and I wasn't really digging it still, because at that point I was still dealing with, like, I'll be honest, not embracing my curl texture and not liking my hair. So I did like the sew-in a bit. It gave me more of my hair, but I was still in a place of like, oh, I feel like I look better with straight or loose hair. Now I've learned that that is not even the truth, and I do not feel like I look better with straight or loose hair. So this went on for, like I said, starting from like 2020, and I stopped in 2025. This went on for an easy 5 years. The job I worked at the time, it was easy to get caught up in the glamour and making sure that my hair looked a certain way for that job. I always had my lashes and nails done, so the aesthetic just like came hand in hand. So easily I was very reliant on this type of protective styling, this hair styling, thinking that I'm growing my hair super long and everything's dandy and cool. I get to wear cool hairstyles and change it up while protecting and growing my hair. Boy, was I kind of wrong. So I want to say we get to like around the 3-year-ish to 4-year-ish mark is where I'm noticing a little bit of a strange thing going on. I noticed that my hairstylist I'm going to her every 6 weeks to change out my hair. I'm making good money, and I'm just like, oh, I think it's just safe to be in her chair every 6 weeks as my hair grows out in the sew-in to get it restyled. But like, she's kind of trimming it every time I'm there, which having her trim it, I don't argue with her. I wasn't complaining or anything. I was like, oh, obviously we still might have some bad ends from when I met her that need to go. So there did come a point where she's like, oh, I trimmed off all the bad ends, we're good. But she kept maintaining that like length in a way. So once I spoke to her about like how I wanted to grow out my hair longer, the trims became like less frequent. But I'm noticing year 3, I'm like, this is the 3rd year now, and I just don't feel like I've retained a lot of length. However, the ends did look good though. My hairstylist did a good job maintaining my ends. My hair looked nice, smooth, and even. What I did notice will come in like maybe the following year, I decided to wear my hair for the first time out, I want to say around the 4-year markish, kind of. Yeah. So spring of like 2024, I have her take out my weave or sew-in to give it a break because I'm going to school at this point. I'm just vibing. And also wearing curly extensions more often, so I felt more comfortable in my hair and to wear my own hair, and I'm like thinking I'm taking better care of my hair. So I say, hey, can you like take the extensions out and press my hair, and we'll just, you know, see how long it is and I can take a break. I take the extensions out, she flat irons my hair, she does a great job, the ends look good, whatever. I go home and I'm like, wait a second, why does my hair look so thin? Why do my edges look so snatched? Why do I have a receding hairline? Maybe it was the length, maybe I'm tripping, but I'm noticing broken spots all around. And most of the broken spots I'm noticing too are now spots where they're either close to my edges or hairline. So I want to say all through here, and it took me a while to realize it was happening under here as well, but all through like the top and the bottom of my hair, just the entire edge line of the entirety of my head was shorter than the rest of my hair. I do not think it was happening back here as bad at the time or yet until I continued to wearing extensions and it got worse. So I'm like, maybe I'm just like, I don't think I thought my hair was denser than it was. Maybe now that I'm wearing my hair, I have weave blindness. That's what I thought it was weave blindness. I'm like, oh, our hair is not supposed to like look thick. Like I wear like heavy bundles, like I'm tripping. I wore my hair out for a week. I wore my hair out for a week and went back to her and was like, put the extensions back in. Put the extensions back in. My hairstylist is so like, she's just so like, she's stern with certain things, but like she gonna do what her clients want at the end of the day. So she's like, okay, like you're already back calling me for an appointment. You were just here last week. I was like, nah, I'm not wearing my hair like this. I really still like probably hated my hair. And I wasn't even wearing it natural. I just, even straight, I did not like the length. I pretty much just put it in pigtails or a ponytail for that week and kept pushing until it was time to do it again. Put extensions back in, bust down extensions back in my hair. I continued to wear them again for another year and a half or so. We come to the spring of 2025 at that point, and that's when I'm like, dude, I'm so tired of wearing extensions. And I was going through all kinds of different ones. I was primarily wearing loose curl or curly extensions at that time. I got tired of the straight hair. I was getting into more commercial work, so I was getting booked more with the natural hair looks. Most of my headshots have been natural hair, and that's when I get the most calls. So I was like, this is an opportunity to get used to my natural hair. I can wear natural hair extensions that more match my hair. I can use it for work. I'm fine. Like this is great. This will also help me probably grow my hair in better because I'm not using as much heat. I noticed when I started wearing the natural hair sew-ins, my leave out was starting to grow in thicker and better because I was pretty much just like either washing and going the leave out or mostly doing a twist out. And I'm noticing like my leave out's getting healthier. She was leaving some out in the back as well if I wanted to put it up in a ponytail, and I'm noticing the back parts are growing in a little bit better. And I'm like, oh, it's starting to click to me. I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to be wearing these for 5 years. It's crazy that it took 5 years to realize like, man, you probably shouldn't have been wearing it for that long. My leave out went through it in that 5 years, but my hairstylist worked with it and trimmed it off and cut it off how she needed to. I got to a point around when I was primarily wearing curly sew-ins for the year of like 2025 or late 2024 to 2025. I'm seeing my hair that's being left out with the curly sew-ins, grow in healthy, get juicy for juicy twist outs, juicy braid outs, whatever. And I'm like, wow, like this is really improving. It must be the sew-ins then, because the parts that are left out are improving. I don't know about the part underneath the sew-in. So I have her take my hair out of the sew-in in May of 2025 and wear it like that for a month. She did not trim it because we did not blow it out. We did a wash and go, and I went home, and my hair at this point had reached bra strap length. So I'm like, okay, at least the hair is growing. Did not, when you're doing wash and goes all the time, or you didn't blow out your hair when you went to the stylist, or you're not blowing out your hair, you do not realize your hair is any type of damaged. You just see the length. I'm just happy that from the prior year to the following year, I grew from armpit length to bra strap length. So I retained some length. I'm seeing more hair. Do the wash and goes, and I'm just like, dude, my wash and goes are just not hitting. They're not hitting. Nothing I'm doing is right. Like, my hair seems frizzy and dry. Like, everything just feels damn awful. I'm just like looking at my hair, I'm like, why my wash and go just not hitting? And then my hairstylist probably did a decent job with the wash and go. She said it, but she didn't stretch it or anything. She just said it for me to do, I guess, do what I wanted to it at home. I didn't know anything about styling wash and goes at this point. I didn't know anything about stretching them, picking them out, nothing. So I'm hating it. I'm just like, I do not like how I look. I don't like anything about it. I go home and try to stretch it. I do a terrible job. And my hair at this point is like a frizzy, like, ball of mess. I, for the next 4 weeks of wearing that style, decided to wear primarily puffy pigtails, slather my hair in gel, the works, and it doesn't all, none of it looks good in my opinion. It just does not work. I really was clueless with my hair. It's my first time really wearing my hair out. Clueless, I tell you. I go back to her after that month has passed, and I'm like, this was a time, but put the weave back in. Put the weave back in. And she's like, well, you tried it. You saw that you're not a fan yet, so we'll put the weave back in. Mind you, my hairstylist is Jamaican, so she does not sound like that. She does not sound like that. She's just so nice. So that's how I like, that's how she sounds in my head, but like, she has an accent. She puts the weave back in, and she promotes me to wear, I'm pretty sure she promoted me at this point to do kinky straight hair. She's like, look, you need hair that matches more your texture, even if you are gonna wear it straight. Try the kinky straight. And I was like, you know what? You're correct. Let's try that. I like the volume, let's try it. The kinky straight was a time I'm gonna say, if you're going to do sew-ins or clip-ins that are straight, it was great. The volume, everything. I'm very active. I go to the gym and I run outside amongst several other things. So this was something I could wear and do my outside activities and sweat, and I didn't feel like, I gotta straighten my hair again to blend it in. So I'm wearing it and I'm noticing my leave out is growing back in, nice and healthy, and it's not fried. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's how often I wash my hair. No, it's the fact that it's like, when I'm wearing body wave silky straight hair, even though I think I'm not damaging it as much, the excess blow drying and the touching up, or even just the flat ironing on the high heat to get it to match the texture, damaging. So I wear that for a little bit. It's middle of summer, my birthday's coming up, and I'm like, I just want to, like, to represent, like, you know, my birthday, big hair, summertime, that just works. Put another sew-in in, but make it curly. I mean, it was great. It was a great style. It was a time. I loved it. It didn't tangle like the other hair. It's amazing. Her vendor did their thing. I wear this for 3 months. At this point, I'm wearing a lot of these styles for 3 months at a time, which probably made the situation worse. You should never wear sew-ins longer than, like, I swear, 8 weeks should be the max. Like, I think I was doing all right when I was going to her every 6 to 8 weeks. 2 is another thing. So yes, I'm retaining length, I'm giving it time to grow, but when it's hanging like that, if that makes sense, like when you braid the weft on and it's hanging like that because it's grown out, and you know, we scratch, we shampoo, whatever, you're giving it an opportunity to kind of break the hair because it's hanging onto the braid for dear life. So yes, I retained length, because by the time she took my hair out in like September of 2025, I'm like, whoa, my hair is down to like mid back. I'm excited. Like, she blows it out and I'm like, I am excited to see what, like, you know, what comes on. Like, I've retained some length through the summer. I've left my hair alone. I see it's grown mid-back. Let's see what it looks like when it's flat ironed. So I go to her September in 2025 and tell her, flatten my hair. I think I'm ready to wear it. I think I'm done with these stones. I need to give it a break. Girl, when I tell you that, yeah, it's mid-back length, but 4 inches of it is see-through and it's starting to taper up. And she's like, so I'm gonna show you where your hair is problematic and you can tell me how much we're gonna cut off today. You can go ahead and tell me how much we're gonna cut off today. I was like, you're joking, right? I was not ready to let go of this hair because I did not expect this. So she shows me the hair and she's like, well, personally, I think we should start here, but show me where you're okay with for now. Instead of cutting a full 4 inches, it was like, for me, 2 inches. Had I just let her cut the 4 inches from that point on, I probably would not have to go back to her and keep trimming hair at this point and maintaining it. I should just let her chop it. So I have her cut off like most of the damage, most of the see-through hair. My hair at this point too is in all types of different layers due to breakage from the sew-in. Majority of my hair, most of the time, was left in a sew-in. And the more I was wearing my hair and realizing that my leave out was getting damaged at any point, I told her to put more hair up. I was like, I don't care, put as much hair up as you can, unless I'm wearing a curly sew-in, then you can leave a little bit more out. And because she started leaving out the back parts for the curly sew-ins for about a year, they're growing in because they're now in a healthier place. I'm pretty much only doing twist outs on them. They're in a healthier place. They're starting to retain more length. So that is when I realized too that the tension from the braids from the sew-ins was tearing out my back edges, because now I have a layer back here that is, at this point it's 2 inches shorter than my hair because she cut a decent amount and I cut a decent amount. But at that point it was like, I swear to God, it had to be like 4 inches shorter. I'm like seeing these random hollow parts in my hair and I'm like, what is going on in my hair? Breakage central. Mind you, most of my hair was in sew-ins for years. So here's what I'll lead into. You think it's protective until it's not. Sew-ins may be protective until they aren't. Wearing sew-ins for 5 years is not a good business plan. I'm gonna be real with you, it's not. In the past 5 years, I've only taken a break from sew-ins 3 times. And 2 of the times was not long enough to be taking a break. 1 week, a month, what are we doing? So my permanent break was last year, September 2025. I have not put any extensions back in my hair, any weaves back in my hair, sew-ins back in my hair. I haven't even worn wigs, nothing. I was like, I made a vow after she cut the hair off. I'm like, at this point, I don't understand what I'm doing, because I'm wearing these extensions to constantly have to chop hair off. And when it does get to a point where it's like, oh, my hair has gotten long enough to be impressed by, we have density loss. We have see-through hair. We have tapered and broken off hair that has to get cut off. And I have so many random, like I don't know if you guys probably can't tell too much right now. This side of my hair is, at least the front, is shorter than this side. I've trimmed it now to kind of balance it out, and sometimes I'll skip a trim on this side if there's no bad ends and trim this side when it's time to trim the entirety of my head, so this side can catch up a little bit. It makes styling very hard and different. That is from leave out breakage. And then, like I said, the very edges of my hair, like mostly the back edges, the back layer of my hair is 2 inches shorter than the rest of my hair. That is going to be easier to balance out, especially with it just being a 2-inch difference. Like once my hair gets a little bit longer and fuller, I will be getting my hairstylist to even it out so I can have my density back. The reason why we probably experience density loss from this situation is the breakage, and the breakage in random sections throughout your hair. Also, the tension. I noticed that there were random areas throughout my scalp that there was just broken spots, shorter hairs, just randomly, spots that were kind of like almost like bald spots. It just wasn't, I don't see how that's protective at that point. When I was last at her salon and I had to cut the hair off, and I was like, oh my God, like I was in shock and I was annoyed. And she was like, well, You guys are not supposed to be wearing the sew-ins like for years on end. Okay, good to know. In only 6 months, I've completely turned my hair around. My hair responds better to conditioner. My hair responds better to product. My hair responds better to grease, mousse, leave-ins. When I deep condition my hair and rinse it, it feels so soft. There's so much movement. We are working on the density improvement at this point. I had to address the breakage and I had to get on a proper trimming regimen. Next thing, finding styles that are actually decently protective or less manipulative. I moved to blowout braid outs. I love me a blow dry braid out and just braid outs in general. They're pretty simple styling and they last a decent amount of time. I found a regimen for myself that works for me. In particular, I've followed a lot of content creators on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram that have similar curl patterns to mine. I have a Pinterest board now. Never thought I'd get back on Pinterest, but inspiration. And I like and put stuff on my board that looks similar to my hair type, that looks similar to my aesthetic. This is what's working for me. You gotta find what works for you. If you are using sew-ins as a protective style and you feel like it's protecting your hair, by all means continue doing what you're doing. I'm just giving my 2 cents of my experience. My biggest issue with sew-ins is it invites neglect. I felt like I was becoming neglectful with my sew-in. I have let them go. I still have several full bags of weave that I cannot get rid of now. All in all, I could say a time was had. I got to try so many different styles that I enjoyed, saw how they looked on my face, different hair types. It was cool. It definitely felt like it was giving Barbie. Like I could try so many different styles, so many different things. So I do not absolutely regret it. I also think that wearing natural hair sew-ins or sew-ins that more match your texture or mimic your texture is also a good start into transitioning into wearing your own natural hair. It really wasn't until I started wearing sew-ins that were closer to my texture that I decided, you know what? I don't want to wear sew-ins anymore. I just want to wear my hair. That 100% helps. Another factor that changed as well when I stopped wearing them was when I was wearing them and I would get an install and pay a lot of money for one, I would get invited to the beach, the pool, and could not go. I could not go. Oh, I have a fresh install. Oh, I can't swim with this. Oh, my leave out is going to be different texture than the rest of my hair. I missed out on so many opportunities to have fun due to that hairstyle. Sacrificing your comfort and your happiness for a hairstyle? Absolutely not. And especially, like I said, I'm in the gym constantly wearing hairstyles that I'm having to put tons of headbands on and make sure I don't do something that makes me sweat too much. Crazy. It doesn't work for me anymore, my lifestyle and my hair. So I've moved on to bigger and better things. I'm not here to criminalize anyone who's deciding that they're going to still wear those styles. I'm just here to tell you my experience and maybe give you an insight as to what it looks like to wear those styles long term. So with that being said, thank you so much again for visiting my channel. I am starting to get into interest of more natural hair content, being that I'm on a new journey with my natural hair. So I will be posting more videos about natural hair, my natural hair. And if you want to, feel free to follow my journey with my own natural hair so you can see where I'm going, the progress I'm making. I will show you, my results after trims, my braid outs, my twist outs, my wash and goes, etc. Thanks so much for stopping by again, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.